Great recent matches between these two sides. Let's hope tonight is no different here at Headingley Carnegie Stadium. Leeds fifth in the table, 3 points and 3 places above the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. Let's take a quick check on the way the two sides will line up. Brent Webb at full-back after his suspension for the Rhinos. Then it's Donald, Delaney, Smith plays instead of Senior. He's on the bench. Hall, Sinfield the skipper, and Maguire. Up front, it's Luluai, Badiris and Kirk. Pitts, who once upon a time played for Wakefield. Ablett and Jamie Jones-Buchanan. And on the bench, what a bench. It's got Senior, Peacock, Diskin and Eastwood. Internationals all for coach Brian McLennan. Now the Wildcats, Aaron Murphy continues at full-back. Blanche, Gleeson, Dimitri the skipper, and Luke George. The Maverick, Paul Cook and Sam Obst. The forwards, it's King, Leolatu and Moore. Johnson, Kermond and Morrison, who makes his return to the side. And not a bad bench here either for Wakefield, with Blaymire, Jeffries, Korkidas and Kevin Henderson. The coach is John Keir. Well, Wakefield's start to the season was in marked contrast to the Leeds Rhinos. They had 3 straight wins at the beginning, including a 28-18 home win over Leeds. It was in stark contrast to the Rhinos, who lost 5 of their first 8 rounds. May always going to be a big month for the Rhinos. They've come through unscathed, back on course for Old Trafford. They're still in the cup, and Brian McLennan, their coach, has just agreed a 12-month extension to his contract. And there he is, Brian McLennan, waiting for this game to get underway. He knows that defence has been a problem for them this year, though. 53 tries conceded in 15 games. Their points against column is only the 7th best in Super League, but they showed last weekend what they can do in tight matches. They beat Wigan 12-10 in the cup without being at their fluent best. It displayed a tremendous resolve. And the two sides emerge from the dressing room side by side tonight, because before this match, and indeed at grounds throughout the country this weekend, there will be a minute's silence in memory of 31-year-old Gary Purdom, the former Whitehaven and Workington player, the brother of Harlequins captain Rob Purdom, who was shot and killed in the dreadful incident in Cumbria this week when a gunman went on the rampage throughout the county. Unbelievably, Gary Purdom, a rugby league man, was caught up in the carnage. And there will be a minute's reflection before kick-off here as remember Gary and all the other victims, of course, of that dreadful day on Wednesday. And as the referee and the players line up and wait for the PA announcement, just a footnote to everything that you will see here taking place tonight. I had a call earlier on today from Stephen Ball from the Rugby League Benevolent Fund, who is planning to meet Ros Purdom on Monday, that's Gary's widow, to offer her any help and support that she might need on behalf of the rugby league family in this country and, of course, worldwide. So in common with grounds throughout the country this weekend, a minute's silence in a moment or two in the memory of 31-year-old Gary Purdom. He played for Whitehaven and Workington. He actually played with his brother Rob Purdom at Whitehaven under the tutelage of the Whitehaven coach of the time, our very own Paul Cullen. And of course we also remember right now all the other victims. A desperate, terrible day in West Cumbria, remembered with an immaculate minute's silence here at Headingley. Dreadful, dreadful day, the repercussions of which, of course, will be felt for many, many years to come. Ian Smith is the man who controlled that minute silence. He is the man in the middle who will control this match in the Engage Super League as the Leeds Rhinos begin the quest for Old Trafford and indeed the League Leaders' Shield. And can they pick up where they left off in the final minute of last weekend's epic cup tie against the Wigan Warriors? Wakefield will hope not. They've had the week off, of course. They've been sitting and waiting and planning for this. Kevin Sinfield gets us underway. The game's in motion. Big night for the Wildcats, Steve-O.
Certainly is, and John Keir, the coach, is fully aware of the fact that they've had a fortnight's rest, and we'll be hoping perhaps that Leeds will be a little bit tired, especially late in the game. But I do believe that the Wildcats will play very strong down the middle. John Keir feels that perhaps if there's going to be a weakness in this Rhinos lineup, it's going to be in the forwards.
Important man returning to the side. He just took the ball up there on the tackle previous to this, Glenn Morrison. And they get the first penalty of the match to Wakefield. Paul King was driving it forward. And the man picked out by the referee for a flop late on. There it is.
And he didn't really have to do that, and he realises it. Ryan McLennan knows that throughout this season, the lack of concentration at times has been Leeds' worst enemy. And also, perhaps, not being aware of the play of the ball area.
Here's Paul King, who will drive it in again. Tackled by Medeiros and pushed back by Kevin Sinfield. Leo Latu is the dummy half. Moore was the dummy runner. This is Sam Obst, and he was gathered in by the tall figure of Ian Kerr. Second row for the last 6. They're playing a prop forward tonight. Now Paul Cook fires the pass to Kermond. He takes it straight towards Jay Pitts.
Pretty good work by the big second row of Pitts as well. He realised that it was going to be a flat ball. Came up in the line. Pretty solid defence from the Rhinos at the moment.
Oh, but Glenn Morrison will get over the line for Wakefield's first try. Well, that's the bonus of having Glenn Morrison back in your side. One of 3 former Bradford Bulls who joined this year, back after 5 out with a broken hand. And Glenn Morrison has given the Wildcats an absolutely perfect start to the match here at Headingley. They lead the champions 4-0. It's Murrayfield deja vu.
Certainly is, and the big fella running out wide as well. Beautiful pass from Cook. You could see that it looked as though Ops was going to be the key player. And I think that Leeds, they just hesitated at the vital moment. I barely got it out of my mouth that they were pretty solid up until this point, but that is a great effort. Nothing Maguire could do about it. But Paul Cook's pass was nothing short of sensational. Sam Ops came on the angle, looked as though he was going to be the key player, but it went to Morrison instead. Fantastic start.
You know, a firm pitch with good weather conditions like we have here tonight highlights the passing quality of a team. You get opportunities to move the ball around more in these situations, and we saw some fantastic passing, particularly there from Paul King. It's difficult for a man of his size and agility to turn and make that pass, but he did it very well, and it's given them a 4-point lead.
It's given them a 6-point lead because Paul Cook has just added the extras. Leeds Rhinos 0 and Wakefield Trinity Wildcats 6 in the opening moments of this game at Headingley.
Super stuff, wasn't it? And it was this pass from Cook. Did you see how Ops just completely confused him? He held back. Normally they use a dummy runner, and Leeds were kidded into that.
That's something they'll be hoping to see a bit of Paul Cook. He's got this great long or short pass, but he usually does it down the short side. If they start getting some good play, have a look out for that same ball down the short side.
Morrison drives the ball forward again. He will play it there, and here's the runner, Paul Johnson. 3 Pauls, Paul Johnson, Paul King, Paul Cook. The 3 Pauls, here's another one of them who just could be the key to the second half of the season for John Keir, the 3 new signings.
Well, we knew that the Wildcats could come out firing and really set a few doubts into the minds of this Leeds outfit. It was a tough game last week against Wigan. It would have taken quite a lot. That is a sensational kick.
Obbs drilled the ball all on the ground, allowed the bounce to do the work, and it did the work. Look, straight over the head of Brent Webb.
It's amazing how if you just punch the ball into the ground, it can go anywhere. And on this occasion, He's playing out of his skin as well, Sam Obst. He was instrumental in that wonderful victory over Harlequins a fortnight ago.
Playing his 4th in a row at scrum half, Sam Obst. Leeds, though, with the possession from the scrum. But Wakefield look up for this, don't they?
Well, I think they've probably got some unfinished business. They'll be so disappointed when you lose a game narrowly in the dying seconds, as they did against Leeds just over a month ago. Then you start to play on your mind, and your determination at the next time you meet that side is higher than you will normally find. I'm sure they have a focus. It would be fantastic for them as a club if they're able to put the double, a home and an away league win for John Keir against the reigning champions would indicate that they are contenders in 2010. Great season from them last season. Can they move up now to the next level?
Well, they can achieve something tonight that they haven't enjoyed in nearly 20 years. Their last home and away league double against Leeds came in the 1991-92 season. 22-20 here and 22-20 at Wakefield rather, and 17-0 here at Headingley.
Interesting to see there, John Keir had the prop forward Richard Moore as the man to pick out the kicking game from Danny Maguire. They applied the real good pressure coming in on the angle. Now Maguire wouldn't feel that a prop forward would be the man to take him out, but it appears that way.
Here's Kermond again for Wakefield. Sinfield hangs on to him, pushes him back. Dimitri of the dummy half for Wakefield. Gets through Ian Kirk, can't get away from Kylie Luluwai. Last tackle here now for Wakefield. Leolato to Cook. And simple game plan from Wakefield. They're just kicking for territory.
That is fantastic. That is the way Wakefield need to start this game. That's the second great kick they've put in this first 6 minutes. Drill it down into the corner and let Leeds come out from off their own try line. Wonderful play by Paul Cook.
And not only that, Brian, is the fact that on both occasions they've taken that very short blind side, and that gives you a little bit extra moment to be able to give you room to make sure that the kick is successful, and it has been on both occasions. Leeds really have to gonna dig deep to get out to the halfway line here.
You know, you mentioned something else about enthusiasm, and it was the kick chase of Wakefield, and you're dead right, Steve-O. Kick chase is a great indicator of enthusiasm in a team, and Wakefield seem to have it at the moment.
Well, they've got it in bundles at the moment because they're flying out of defence here. This is Maguire. Oh, that's good play from him, but he couldn't get through the tackle from Blanche and Gleeson. Going down that side, that ball though went backwards, did it? Says the referee. Yes, they managed to hang on to it. Carl Ablett breathing a sigh of relief. Here's Jamie Jones-Buchanan.
He did
Great
well.
tackling from Wakefield.
Yeah, it is. He did well, Ablett, there. He really got rocked back. And again, applying the pressure from the prop forward.
Maguire's kick finds its way into the arms of Luke George. It's a good chase by Jay Pitts. 22 appearances with Wakefield. He's an ex-Leeds season ticket holder, is Jay Pitts. Now playing for the club he supported from these famous terraces at Headingley.
And the most important factor as far as Wakefield and John Keir, the coach, will be concerned is, look, they've got over the halfway line on the second tackle. And that means with the ability that we've seen already from Sam Obst and Paul Cook, that kicking on the blind side, they're applying more pressure to the Rhinos.
Paul Johnson nearly threw a hole then, and Morrison was sniffing the opportunity on his shoulder. Here's Obst again. That ricochets off a Leeds man. It's awfully awkward. It's very awkward. It's come up for Sam Obst, and Obst, a second try for the Wildcats, is it? Or is it? Well, it didn't seem like there was much wrong with it.
No, Ian Smith wants to see whether there was a hand touched by a Wakefield player. I don't think there was. Again, utilising that short blind side for the kick. It ricochets off a Leeds player. I think you'll find that it's Lee Smith.
But they're looking to see if he's onside first, aren't they? Well, that's the first question asked, but to the video referee.
Is Damien Blanche just a hint, or is Sean Gleeson? He seems happy with it. There's no knock on there. He was
play on,
Damien Blanche missed the kick, and as it turns out, Hall can't get to it, and guess what? Sam Obst can. This will be TRY, and the Wakefield supporters will go absolutely wild. They're stunned to the Rhinos.
They're checking the grounding, but wasn't Damien Blanche in a slightly offside position on this near side? James
no.
Child doesn't think so, I think, because this will be try, and it is. Sam Obst ever present this year. It's his 4th match in a row at scrum half. First try since the Good Friday win against Castleford. He was injured in the warm-up and he missed the game here last year. Well, he's certainly arrived and stamped his mark tonight already.
Certainly has. The kick ricochets. He was trying to punch it batting into the middle. Blanche didn't get a hand to it. Hopp said it's a gift, and it is. Boy, I've never seen Headingley as quiet. He wanted to kick it into the corner. He got the ricochet. He got the bounce. Did Mr. Obst. And Leeds, well, Phil Clark mentioned before the kick-off about their wonderful ability to fight back. And I tell you what, Phil, the Rhinos are going to have to dig deep.
It's deja vu, isn't it? You know, Leeds prevented Wigan from scoring a single try in 80 minutes action last week. The Wildcats have got 2 already in the first side of their first 8 minutes, so big turnaround for them.
Indeed, look at that, 12-0 to the Wakefield Wildcats. Sam Obst, the 2nd try scorer.
And have a look at the chase, Steve-O. This is the thing. Look at the pressure they put on Lee Smith.
They certainly did, Brian, but most importantly, you could see, I think, from that angle that that Blanche was onside. And it was quite obvious that James Child, the video referee, he was extremely confident. And I'd like to see that as well, because I must say, over the past few weeks, a few of the officials have been a touch shady. I'll leave it at that.
12-0, 10 minutes gone. They're ahead of the clock, the Wakefield Wildcats. Sam Obst at dummy half. Here is Johnson again.
Well, this is the first time that the Rhinos have applied the pressure, and you can see that Wakefield are having a bit of trouble getting out of their defensive quarter.
They secured their best win in 2 years, 12 days ago. It sends them to Headingley in great spirit, but that's a bone cruncher from Kylie Luluai. Danny Kermon felt that.
That went backwards.
Oh! Jamie Jones Buchanan's picked up on it.
Hesitation in the Wakefield defence, and the ball went backwards.
This is Maguire. Can't get round Morrison. Badiris waiting. Finds Ian Kirk.
Well, this is where Leeds have to get planning permission now. They've got to just camp down there.
And they get the penalty.
Take the quick tap. 2 points is no good to them. They need possession. They need to lift their spirits, and they'll get that with a try if they can get over this time.
And here is Brent Webb. Jason Tremetiu gets to him, though. That's the first tackle.
Oh, he's lost it.
Hands in at the play of the ball. Second quick penalty for Leeds.
It looks as though it just lost control, but can Wakefield's defence hang in? They're coming up as a unit.
Luluai driving it in. His improved form has coincided with Leeds' march up the table. Here's Badiris. Now it's with Maguire. Went Webb. Ball goes to ground again. But they managed to keep possession somehow. Smith did well then, getting it away to Ryan Hall.
A little bit of panic setting in.
And there was a hand in it, apparently a hand by Wakefield. The referees wiped the tackle count down.
Even more pressure. But I just get a feeling that Leeds are a little bit under panic at the moment. We've got to get the likes of Sinfield, Maguire out there to control things.
Great drive from Luluai again. Taking Leeds right underneath the Wakefield posts. Here is Badiris, now Sinfield. Sinfield gets the ball away to Maguire. Maguire just ghosts in. Danny Maguire in fantastic form. 3 tries in the win at Bradford. 3 tries against Wakefield here in 2008 in a 58-12 win. And he got a try in the defeat at Wakefield in February. Danny Maguire is on unlucky 13 for the season now. Back in the England squad as well. Danny Maguire for next weekend's test against the French.
Well, another penalty. You can see there that the skipper Jason Demetriou has knocked the ball away from Webb. It was a third on the trot, but this is all about good support play. Ball carrying arm was knocked down from Sinfield and Maguire. What a combination it's turning out to be. The 2 halves, Sinfield and Maguire. Rob Burrow, of course, is still injured, but the combination has come up trumps. Maguire is red hot at the moment.
Sinfield will add the extras, missed a couple. last week in the cup tie against Wigan. Doesn't miss with his first, bang in front, 6-12.
It was an interesting decision by Jason Dimitriou. Obviously, you have to make an immediate risk assessment when you're defending your own try line, but he's pushed up very quickly here to try and prevent the ball from going on the outside, and as so often happens, the best teams keep it alive, turn it back to some fast feet, and Danny Maguire gets the first 4 points.
Well, it was important they got a score there. I think it's nice. We should reference Kylie Luluai's work in defence there. He's absolutely leathered. I think it was Danny Kermon, and that set that chain of events in motion, resulting in a Leeds try.
Paul Cook then kicks off. Brent Webb is underneath the kickoff, and here comes Ian Kirk. Woof. Well, he's about 6'7" tall, Ian Kirk. He's almost made for the front row. That's like this fellow, Kylie Luluai. He's a bit lower to the ground, is Luluai, but he's got them moving forward. Here's Jamie Jones-Buchanan. A couple of missed tackles, finds Maguire. Maguire then gives it to Ablett.
It's amazing what confidence can do to him, and then you saw a quick shot of Rob Barrow, who would be loving to get out there, but he must be quite happy, as with his coach Brian McLennan. Oh, great support by Maguire yet again.
Hopping and getting the ball away to Sinfield, over the top to Delaney. Quick hands on to Scott Donald. Luke George flew out of the line. Here goes Scott Donald. Great run from him. Great covering back though from Danny Kermon.
Had to be surely penalised. He's messing around. Crowd have gone absolutely berserk over the official.
Maguire attacking the line again. Last one here for the Leeds Rhinos. Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Here is Sinfield. High kick to the corner, looking for Scott Donald. It's really high. It's flicked back. It's picked up over the top. What on earth was Jay Pitts doing then?
I think he just took a gamble. He knows that even if the Wakefield come up with it, which they did, look at the position they're in. Oh, it's a good dummy by Cook. But the sliding defence is too strong for them.
Hull are ahead of St Helens by 6 points to 0. That's at the KC Stadium. Here at Headingley, Leeds behind by 12 points to 6.
I think what Jay Pitts was doing was keeping the ball alive. Offloading is a feature we've seen from Leeds inside the first 50 minutes, and it's a feature we'll see for the rest of the game. Conditions like this, Leeds in this mood, backing their skill, will keep the ball alive as much as they can.
Untidy and careless work from Leo Latu.
Yeah, the rules state you are not allowed to play the ball forward. He tried his damnedest, and I suppose in many ways a lot of people who say, well, they don't get penalised when they don't touch the ball, but if they do and it goes forward, you can guarantee that the official will pick it up. And Ian Smith was on the ball there. More pressure.
Well, it's pouring with rain at the moment, which will not help the players and their handling skills. Absolutely dancing down. Here's Jay Pitts again.
To summer, Eddie.
Oh, exactly. I suppose a lot of people this week, after the tropical weather we've had, there we go, there's the first mistake. Probably got the garden tables out, got the barbecues all fired up, and look what's happening.
Well, I wouldn't want Ian Kirk to put my barbecue out if he handles it that way, and
He'd light it properly, I think.
it's carrying the sausages and the hamburgers I'd be worried about. Food is a, well,
I know it's very close to your heart, I realise that.
It's more the stomach rather than the heart, but
Isn't that a relief for Wakefield now?
Just a bit.
You just thought they were looking tired, little mistakes coming in. You didn't really want to see them defend another set on their line. That's a relief. Let's see them get another kick in, get back to what they did in the first 5 minutes of the game.
And it's amazing, Brian, that the way the game has turned around in the favour of Leeds is mainly due to the fact that their defence is preventing Wakefield, who in the opening 10 minutes controlled everything, got over the advantage line and got into a good kicking position.
This is Richard Moore, plays it to Sam Obst. The kick goes down the line again from Sam Obst, finds the touch, no problems with that.
Sticking to the game plan as well. Obviously, John Keir, short blind side. And when you jump out a dummy half, it's very difficult to be able to close them down.
Well, what happens, Steve-O, is the winger on that short side is also going to be pulled up. So it leaves you a bit of space to kick in behind him. And what he's done to good effect on both sides of the field, Cook and Obst.
Well, next week, 4 of these Leeds Rhinos players will be taking part in the first international under the control of Steve McNamara. It's England against France, it's at Lee, and there's the website and the telephone number you need for any information you might require. England-France, the start of the new era, and can the new men deliver. Well, there is a delivery on a plate to Wakefield from Kylie Luluwai, making a mistake.
And that's how important that you put in a kick. A lot of people think, oh, what's he done? He's just kicked it into the corner. Now the Leeds will get possession, and then they come out with error. They are the tactics you need in these conditions, because it's been very, very warm, humid, and now extremely wet.
It's Aaron Murphy. It's Glenn Morrison, I beg your pardon. And Obst is waiting at dummy half, 20 metres away from the line. It was Aaron Murphy. My mistake, should have stuck with it first time. This now is Danny Kermon. Tavita Leo Latu waits at dummy half. Finds Paul Cook. Support both ways from Cook, but he's wrestled to the ground by Badiris. Leo Latu again. Badiris got a hand to the ball-carrying arm, then forced the error on Tavita Leo Latu. These conditions look pretty grim from up here, Bill. What about downstairs?
Oh, even grimmer down here, Eddie. It is absolutely chucking it down just at the moment, as promised, as threatened all afternoon. And interestingly, the game, of course, starting with a real cavalier approach from both sides, and the instruction has gone out very quickly just to rein things in, because the error count, as we've seen, is mounting, and the rain is absolutely hammering down now.
Yes, it's going to soak the Wakefield supporters who came here in shirt-sleeve order, and they came here hoping for a really great summer's evening. Well, they've got it. It's pouring down. This is Sinfield from inside the 40. Was that a possible 40-20? He tried. Murphy picks it up. Oh, Murphy loses it. First tackle. Well, these conditions making it very difficult. Starting off really dry, and there's another handling error, but they got away with it, Leeds.
What a hit from Jay Pitts. The kick was good, chase was fantastic, and the hit from Pitts was out of this world.
Well, it's soaking everybody. Cameramen, supporters, players. Everyone's trying to get covered up. Nice and dry up here. This is Danny Badiris. And he finds Peacock. Back it comes to Sinfield. Stab kick through, looking for Lee, looking for Ablett. Oh, now then.
No
I
try.
think that Damien Blanche has come up with a fantastic save here, and he has.
Wonderful stuff from Blanche. That was a great kick. Sinfield early in the tackle count, and Ablett thought this was a gift. Not until Damien Blanche got there. Oh, fantastic stuff.
Great work from the winger. Great work.
99th career appearance for Damien Blanche in the UK. Goal line dropout reaches Maguire on halfway. Peacock, immense last week on his return from injury. Absolutely immense. Hull 6, Saints 6 at the KC Stadium. Remember, results go their way tonight, and there's anything but a foregone conclusion here. Never mind up there. Leeds could be in 4th place come the end of business tonight. But it's with Maguire now.
We saw an early kick from Sinfield, and I think we might get another one as well. It is so slippery on that surface.
Badiris going on his own, though, taking them on. Webb, and now Sinfield. That's a penalty because he used the dummy runner. I think it's Peacock. It is, as a foil then, went behind him.
Just through the dummy. And you'll see Peacock saying, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to get to it? Pretty difficult. He was a good metre away behind him, but this season, I must say, the officials have clamped down heavily on that.
Bill mentioned the handling. The defence are going to try and put a shot on the ball in these conditions and dislodge it. We've seen one come loose already. What the rain also does is, when people are catching it, coaches always teach you to catch the ball off your chest as much as possible. This weather conditions make that very difficult, and you end up catching the ball in a cradle, which slows it down if you want to go and pass it again.
Kokidis gets to his feet, plays it to Leo Latu. Here's Richard Moore again, taking on Jamie Jones-Buchanan, taking on Jamie Peacock, going down on tackle number 3.
Big problem for...
Now then, this is Obst.
To say the big prop forward, Ian Kirk's got a real bang in the mouth. He's not 100% at the moment.
Leo Latu down the short side, Jinx inside then. Oh, and that was a gift for Lee Smith. And a very, very good tackle needed by Obst.
That should have been a penalty. He had a second goal there. And he's been Very lenient is Ian Smith, the official.
Ryan Hall.
Good play.
Leeds, 3 tackles gone, and they're deep in Wakefield territory. Medeiros. Peacock's the runner on his shoulder. Cook low down. Leolato upstairs. Medeiros. They're inching forward, Leeds, aren't they? This is Ablett. They end this set of 6 underneath the sticks.
Oh, nobody there for the kick.
There is now from Sinfield.
It's touched by Blanche. She'll be underneath the sticks. Kick out.
Well, the referee, I think, has just asked the video referee, James Child, to check that the Wakefield man got a touch here.
I think you'll find that Damien Blanche just gets a fingertip to this. Yep. And that'll be more pressure. Drop out from underneath the post.
That's a quality kick. That is a quality kick. He has very little time to do that.
And Ian Smith very quick to ask for assistance from James Child, and James Child very quick with his decision.
I must say, though, Eddie, that, you know, Brian McLennan will be a little bit frustrated about the fact that Danny Medeiros went in there, it was on the last, he turned around and there was nobody there. No one was calling for it.
Peacock, as Saints hit the lead at Hull.
And again, losing possession of the Rhinos at a vital moment. I often mention in the fact that it amazes me, that especially the forwards, in dry conditions, they utilise the ball-carrying arm and try to push him off, and they've dropped it again.
Well, it's dropsy either side, isn't it? It really is. Not able to hang on to the football at the moment. Can Jamie Jones Buchanan? He's got Obst on his back. He had Glenn Morrison for good measure as well. He holds on to it, and here comes Peacock. Now Medeiros, 10 metres out for Leeds. Defence just hanging back a bit. He gives it to Maguire.
Oh, he's lost it.
Like a bar of soap.
You know, it might not be a bad idea, actually, to kick early when in possession. You've got to back your ability to play for the full 80, but holding the ball inside your own half of the field isn't really an option here, because we've seen the conditions. Kick it, the ball will bounce and run hard because the pitch is still very, very firm, and then chase and put the pressure on their opponents at the other end of the field.
Demetriou, the Wakefield captain, bounces off a couple, can't get past Peacock though.
And now the Quest, even though he's on the 4th, have got, oh, that is a big error. You don't have to rush.
Ben Jeffries, he's missed the last 2. His last appearance was actually against Leeds in Scotland at Murrayfield Festival.
It's okay doing things like that when it is bone dry, but to try to take it on the run, and John Keir will be furious about it. He's not ordering coffee there, I can assure you.
Michael Korkidas has got a nasty gash, as you can see, and that needs some treatment before he's allowed to continue on.
Yeah, it looks like stitching time.
Time's off.
Another of the internationals comes off the bench for Leeds. They've had Peacock on, and now they've got the New Zealand international Greg Eastwood.
He's been in fine form as well as the New Zealander. Has the ability to run out wide as well, and they'll probably be pinpointing Sean Gleeson.
Yes. Time back on.
Well, they'll find him hard to deal with. He's a handful. He's got a great offload as well. A couple of tired Wakefield forwards out there.
Lee Smith plays the ball. Here is Peacock. St Helens are increasing the pressure on Hull. Now it's Medeiros. It's Sinfield. Moore was waiting. Medeiros finds Maguire. Here's Eastwood.
Well, Leeds quite happy. First man, take it in. Second one, they bring him back on the inside. That means that they're working the first and second markers.
Ablett here gets the ball away to Jamie Jones Buchanan, and Leeds get over for their second try. A lot of people were slightly bemused why Carl Ablett was not selected by Steve McNamara for England, and that was a great offload there to Jamie Jones Buchanan, who led the way in the tackling department against Wigan last week. He topped the count with 33 tackles, Jamie Jones Buchanan, but he has scored here in the 26th minute.
super play. As I mentioned before, they've been utilising the inside pass, and that means that Wakefield have been having to work overtime in the first and second marker position, and it has really told. That was a neat inside, but none better than this. They should have had him, should have put him to the ground. They didn't. He got the right arm loose, and Jamie Jones-Buchanan in for the try. Only missed 2 games last year. All the way through the season, has been ever present. He's a tough hombre. He'll enjoy that.
Yes, cap once by Great Britain, 6 times though by England, operating at loose forward tonight because this man, Kevin Sinfield, is playing at a standoff alongside Danny Maguire. And Sinfield with the goal earlier actually missed a milestone for him there. I'll tell you about it in a moment as he adds the extras to this try and levels the scores. But he has now surpassed 2,500 points, Kevin Sinfield. This is his 350th Leeds appearance. Fantastic servant.
Look how you see Sam Ops. He knows he's going to go for the ball carrier, and what does he leave? Leaves a huge gap. And the ability, upper body strength there, that is great. Over the past 15 minutes, Leeds' support play has been nothing short of outstanding.
Well, they gave them a 12-point lead and they've whittled it away.
And one of the reasons is because they almost have a one-man advantage. The man who just trapped the ball there, Brent Webb, the way he plays the game, Eddie, as extra scrum half, standoff, whatever you call it, look at him now, he's an extra hooker, isn't he, playing in that position there. That's a one-man advantage that a lot of teams don't have. His support play is outstanding, and I've lost count of the numbers of runs he's made so far in this game, supporting the man looking for that offload. He'll score in this game because of his ability to put himself around the ball.
Medeiros waits for the Rhinos. Maguire. Deep kick downfield. And that's a good kick as well, because Murphy has to work this ball out, and he gets only as far as Sinfield, who is leading the chase.
Ball on his foot, wait, go.
Dimitriou, here's Luke George. He goes down in the tackle. Peacock round the ankles. Jay Pitts putting him to ground. Blanche.
When you talk about managing substitutions, with Corquitas been off the field, they've had to leave Richie Moore out there for a little longer. I think if you look back at that try, he was at fault for not pushing up in the line. They'll be desperate to get Corquitas back on this field and give Richie Moore a rest.
Good kick from Paul Cook, because Brent Webb will have to run this away from his own line.
Pretty good chase, though. He got there in numbers, forced him back out onto that left-hand side. It's so important when you get a kick and chase that not only out there on that far side, that your players come down the middle, give them no option to come into the open spaces.
6-8 at Salford in Warrington's favour. 12 all here, penalty to the Rhinos for offside.
And Paul Cook is absolutely going berserk with his fellow players. He was screaming for them to come back to the official. All that hard work, beautiful kick down from that fella into the corner. They get the tackle in, and they've allowed the pressure to run away.
Senior is on the field, and it's the first time that he has been on the substitutes bench for Leeds since 2002. He's either played from the start or he's been injured. He's never been placed on the bench before, but Ryan McLennan says it's nothing, shouldn't read anything into it. He is still their #1 centre.
It'll be interesting to see whether he plays as a bit more like a forward.
Second row, he said he'd try and use him.
Yep, and that's a mistake, not surprisingly, and that's...
Matt Diskin's out there as well now, so all 4 of the Leeds subs used in this first half, each and every one of them an international.
Well, it's Diskin's decision, isn't it, to do this? I suppose when you play with 2 hookers, Steve-O, and the second one comes on, he's almost compelled, isn't he, to do something, create something, after sitting waiting for 25 or 30 minutes on the bench.
Well, it depends on, you know, Diskin's got enough experience. I'm certainly with you in that regards, but you know, in these wet conditions, the first thing you've got to do in the first only 5 minutes, just get the feel of the game. Don't do anything outlandish.
You're expected to make an impact coming off the bench, but you got to do it sensibly. You know, get your hands on the ball first, get your first run, get your first tackle in.
That's what Henderson's just done, and here is Obst. Now Jeffries. That's a good ball to Morrison.
He came on,
hangs on.
Came on the angle as well.
Last tackle here for Wakefield, so it goes up off the boot of Sam Obst.
Oh, Diskin tripped somebody there.
The ball has come free.
Oh, passed it to nobody.
He has. Obster's passed it to no one, and then takes the tackle from Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Jamie Jones really dropped on Sam Hobbs then. I mean, I know he wasn't tackled, and there's nothing in the rules to say he shouldn't, but...
Well, in the build-up to that after the kick, I just got the impression that the kicker was actually, I wouldn't say it was on purpose, but he certainly looked to me as though he was tripped. I think it was Diskin that was the culprit.
The referee's given a penalty against Matt Diskin, and Matt Diskin had his hand trapped underneath the ball that I think it was Richard Moore would not allow him to get his hand away from.
Yeah, it's always difficult. Obviously Moore was hanging on.
Look,
But
I can't get it. No, it was King. It was Paul King.
yeah, I think King probably said, well, his hand shouldn't have been there in the first.
I think that happened twice in the cup game here last week, and the referee, given to have to make a decision, tends to back the player in possession.
Definitely, I think that's the way the rules be going. Interesting the decision to take 2 points here. We're the boot on the other foot, and Leeds in this position. Do you think Leeds would take the 2 points?
No, they'd run it.
I think so as well. I think it was a perfect opportunity for Wakefield to spend a bit of time in this part of the field. They've looked vulnerable when they've been defending their line. This is a chance to play down the other end of the field.
Well, Paul Cook here, he got a try and 7 goals. That was his best haul for Wakefield against Quins a couple of weeks ago. He did miss the Murrayfield Magic meeting, and maybe Wakefield missed him more than they care to admit that day. Anyway, here he is with a chance to edge. Wakefield ahead for the second time, and he's kicked the goal, Paul Cook.
I think the major reason, Eddie, why John Keir elected to go for that, it took them an age to prepare for it and then get on with kicking it. I think he realised that the momentum had gone away from their side. Leeds were in control, and all he needed was just to stop that momentum, get the ball back, and he can only do that with scoring points.
8 minutes to go to half-time. If Wakefield are ahead at the half-time siren, it'll be the 3rd time this year that they've led Leeds at half-time. They won 1 at the Hero Stadium. They lost, of course, at Murrayfield. Great chase from that kick-off. Such a deep kick-off into the Wakefield in-goal area, and Wakefield penned back inside their 10-metre area now. Down to Bill.
Bumps and bruises out there for the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. Sam Hobbs is just the latest. Michael Korkidis has already been back to the dressing room to have a cut stitched up. There is Hobbs. Hobbs, I don't think, has been replaced yet, and they need to get him patched up and back out there. So there are only 12 on the field at the moment, and of course Hobbs has been a real linchpin for them. Shirt just going back on, and he'll get back there. I wonder whether the officials will say he's got to change his shirt though, because that's got blood on it.
Well, he came on putting a shirt on. I assume it's new.
5! Move!
By the looks, yeah.
Hold! 5!
Last tackle here, though, for Wakefield. Cook was outside the 40. It goes straight down the middle, and Brent Webb is waiting. Webb runs the ball back. As far as Blaymire, number 1, who is on, and Jeffries. Here's Ryan Hall.
I'm just a bit confused there. Why John Keir, as he sent out the message, changed the style of the kicking? Remember, in the opening 15 minutes, Wakefield really controlled it because they were utilising the kick on that short blind side. Now they've gone for up and under.
Maybe, Steve, but I didn't have Sam Hobbs on the field to put a bit of direction, set up for that kick that you're talking about.
Peacock hangs on. The 4th tackle. King was not exactly quick getting off him. This is Maguire up the middle. Warrington increased the lead at Salford as Sitfield hoists the bomb.
Boy, that's high. Oh, what a great take.
Took that brilliantly, Matt Blaymire, didn't he?
Certainly did. And he was high enough because the floodlights here at Headingley, they are very, very high. It would have been a bit of a problem. It may have just disappeared for a while. Great take.
No way forward. The grey skies of Headingley, but Wakefield ahead by 14 points to 12, 5.5 to the half-time siren. Hobbs is still out there, as you can see, the head bandaged.
And again, it's becoming a problem for the Wildcats. They just cannot penetrate get over into the opposition half where they know they can control it with this guy Sam Obst and Paul Cook with their kicking game.
Last tackle here for Wakefield again. Obst drills the kick all along the line and finds touch.
That's better. They've gone back to the basics, and it served them well in the opening 15 minutes, and that is a great kick.
They've obviously been burnt, haven't they, by Brent Webb in previous games. When his kick returns against tiring defenders at this stage in the game has cost them dearly, and whenever possible they want to buy that 45 seconds that you get generally of rest when the ball finds the sideline and you have a scrum and then you're set. Everybody has the time to get into a set position, and they start from the same position as the guys who are going to run at them.
This is Ryan Hall for the Rhinos.
Boy, he nearly got caught out as well, did the winger. He was talking to his outside players and just had a quick glance when the ball was coming to him.
Brett Delaney holds on for Leeds. Diskin, inside it goes to Peacock, and inside again to Eastwood. They managed to hold him up. Leeds supporters getting a little frustrated. Not with their team, I don't think, but with the fact that the referee not blowing for penalties, because he's blown for a couple against the Rhinos for holding down. He's wiping the tackle count down, is Ian Smith. Maguire takes the 0 tackle.
Now,
so 6 more from here.
Paul King was appealing to the official, Ian Smith, and said, well, I went into the tackle. That should be play on. He thought the other did the man with the whistle, so that it was deliberate.
Senior trying to burst up the middle, but no way through.
And another great tackle by Morrison. He really is a wonderful machine, isn't he? 18 tackles so far, in fact 19 now. He really works his socks off, this fella.
Sinfield will attack the line for Leeds. Couldn't get the ball away to Ablett. That's the 4th tackle. Well, there it is. There is the penalty. The referee's patience has snapped with Kevin Henderson.
And it was silly play by Henderson. Silly play. Had a second go on it, applied the pressure, they'd done all the hard work. Wakefield had a one-line of defence. They could have done without it.
So here come Leeds again with Diskin, and now with Peacock, and Peacock to the line, just held up short. Diskin is waiting again, go down that left side with Webb, and off the chest of Lee Smith.
Trial goes begging, but you always take a risk when you get a bullet pass like that, and you can see that Smith had just overrun it. He knows it too. He was going up, he had to jump for it, but there was never any chance he could take it. It was like a rocket coming at him.
You can shift positions around and put people on bench and rest them, and put a centre playing in the second row like they've done with Keith Senior tonight. But what it does is takes combinations away. Brent Webb is used to having Keith Senior running that line and running that hole, and that's not to be overestimated. That's crucial, that you can develop these combinations, and you shift around players too much and you can sometimes lose those combinations.
Now what's happened here? The referee's held.
It's hit the referee. He tried his damnedest, Ian Smith, to get out of it.
Knock on by the referee, so Wakefield get head and field.
Hold.
He brushed up on the rules, eh? Oh, that looked high. Got away with it, Lee Smith.
2 minutes to go to half-time. Wakefield hanging on to this half-time lead again against the champions. Damien Blanche waits at dummy half. Looks the pass to Demetriou, but there was an ambush waiting for him there. Maguire and Kirk. Obst once more.
Certainly was. Kirk was
They
cooking
all
him there.
went away with that. They were disappeared. Oh, and then they give the ball away.
They don't need to. Look, they had to control the game. Now, he knows, John Keir, that he's put his own side, and they put themselves under enormous pressure. All right, it wasn't the best pass, but soon as Gleeson got to it, why on earth do you get rid of it? They know there's only seconds remaining. This is poor play.
I think I lip-read John Keir. I think he said, why don't they hold on to the ball? Or something like that.
Well, it isn't often he agrees with me, but they could come up with more points here, Rhinos. They're very adept at doing that.
Well, Hull, it was a big night for them. St Helens 22-6 up. And here now is Diskin, who finds Sinfield, who in turn finds Maguire. Now it's with Webb. Over the top it goes to Scott Donald! And Wakefield will not take the lead with them into the half-time dressing room. He's missed 13 games this year following a shoulder reconstruction. This is his 131st appearance. Incredibly, that's his 86th try for the Leeds Rhinos, but none since a couple of tries against Wakefield way back in February.
Well, this is Christmas coming early for the Rhinos at a time when Wakefield were getting poor field position, and it's just simple, basic rugby league football. See how they utilised the dummy runner coming in. That made the Wakefield defence hesitate. This is where they'll utilise the dummy runner. See how it came through, and Webb says, I'll put this guy into the corner. Superb play by the Rhinos.
But they play for the full 40 minutes. Remember the try that Ryan Hall scored for Leeds against Wakefield when they last met in Murrayfield, about 10 seconds before the half-time hooter. Their concentration is better than most.
And they've just done it again. You probably heard in the background the half-time siren has sounded again, I think. Either that or it was a fog warning. But this, I think, will be the last kick of this first half. Half the Wakefield team, or at least the subs, are disappearing into the dressing room, by the way. Sinfield trying to drift it over the crossbar. What a kick! What a kick! He hit the post a few times last week, did Kevin Sinfield. It didn't look like him at all. But he's brought his shooting boots with him tonight. And from being 12-0 down, the Leeds Rhinos have hit back and they're 18-14 up at half-time. Off they come for half-time. A difficult first half. It started dry, then it bucketed down with rain. Wakefield off to a flying start, and Leeds then clawing their way back into the match. Champions are ahead, but only by 4. Look at those grey skies, leaden skies over Headingley, but the Leeds Rhinos are ahead by 18 points to 4. They were 12-0 down at one stage. 18 points to 14. Well, just looking ahead a week for Sam Alston Company, the Wildcats, in conjunction with their club sponsors, they're announcing that next week's game against Wigan on Sunday the 13th is going to be known as the Golden Game. They're going to celebrate their glorious past in Wakefield, and also there's going to be about £10,000 up for grabs for supporters who go along there next week. So that should be very, very well attending next Sunday. That kickoff is out on the full. That's not a golden kickoff for Paul Cook.
Leaden foot. Oh, did well there, didn't he? Knew exactly what was happening, Diskin. Knows the laws of the game. And Cook shakes his head and realises it's one thing that John Keir, the Wakefield coach, would have wanted. He was hoping that they could get down there and maybe force the error.
Not the start that Wakefield wanted. Here's Diskin now, and Eastwood will drive it forward.
And I just get the impression that Brian McLennan said to the Rhino players, look, enjoy it now. You've been supporting well, you've been turning in the tackle and offloading. Oh, and nearly offloaded well there.
That's drive weather football from Keith Senior. Here goes Morrison again. Brought down by Webb on the zero tackle. Damien Blanchard attacks him down the short side. Were they all onside then, Leeds?
I don't think so. Lee Smith certainly wasn't. Well, I expected him to come out with a lot of flair, and they did, but it didn't come off.
Dimitriou will drive it forward for Wakefield now.
And it's important now that the Wakefield forwards start taking a little bit of control. They struggled late in that second half to get any good field position. Oh, and he's spilled the ball, weight conditions, but that'll be a bad error down to Paul Cook. And Webb's knocked on as well. Oh, he's not happy.
No advantage serves the referee. They'll take the first one.
Take the first knock on, you never even be in possession properly.
Actually, Kermel might have been penalised then.
There you go. Yeah, man.
Difficult to tell.
He
Kerman's,
shouted play on, the referee, didn't
yeah,
he?
yeah,
I didn't think at the time they'd got over the advantage line.
Heads in.
Diskin, look at that. That's superb. And you know, it's wonderful to know that a lot of players know the rules. But he's a hooker.
Well, the foot over the line was the critical thing, wasn't it? That means
Yeah.
the ball is out.
I think the ball would have landed over the line anyway, Eddie, wouldn't it? It was already the way it was going.
There's a loose forwards view of the hookers.
No, but I am impressed with Matt Diskin. I thought it was a good interview from him before the game, and his maturity really has impressed me from when he was first involved with the Great Britain side. He's done well to continue his career with Danny Badiris here. He's playing as well as ever, and he's taking his team forward here now.
Good thinking as well.
It was good thinking. It's interesting what he said as well, that he thought when the Badiris signing was announced it might have been handled a bit better. He was gutted, he said, didn't he?
Yeah, it was right, and to be fair, who wouldn't be? But Leeds, and we'd seen it with Roby and Cunningham at St. Helens. It has been a huge success. And remember, when Diskin was out injured, they struggled a bit, did Leeds. So they've got to have a backup.
We got the chance to get one of the best hookers in the world coming to your club. I mean, I think it's a compliment.
Leeds in possession because Wakefield caught not standing square. There is one of the best in the world, Danny Badiris. There's Maguire. Now it's with Sinfield. Leeds fanning out across the field. Comes back though on the inside with Ablett. Diskin and Maguire. Oh, he jinks his way through the first would-be tackler. Demetriou did well then to keep him out. Eastwood's pass has gone to Luke George.
Good work by Delaney. George was coming on the angle and he would have got it into open space. There was no one at home. Webb was in the attacking lineup.
It's making for entertainment for us, but why on earth would they not just try and hang on to the football in these conditions? Big shiner developing maybe for Danny Badiris under the left eye. Had an ice pack on a few minutes ago. Oh, that's a great run from Paul King.
Surrender.
They wear it as a badge of...
Stand up. 4. Go.
Jeffries.
Outside.
Now it's a
Easy for
chase.
Webb.
It has to be a good chase, and it is.
Donald.
You know, it might not have made a lot of ground for the Leeds side, but it made several of the Wakefield players work harder than they really wanted to do. They've probably run 25 metres more than they wanted to at pace, and that certainly, over the game of the course of 80 minutes, has a cumulative effect to drain the Wildcats.
Diskin's there again. Here goes Delaney.
Good basic play by the Rhinos as well.
Peacock.
We're in a good position now to take control with a kick and chase.
Last tackle, 40 metres out. Here's Maguire. Dabs the kick over the top. And that will skim away on this wet surface, but the right side of the corner flag as far as the Rhinos and Maguire are concerned.
And again, intelligent kick from Maguire. Puts it into terra firma. That's all you need. And we've seen so many errors with the ball carrier losing possession. They'll be applying the pressure here now.
Heads in, Sam. Heads in.
There was nothing fancy in that set, Steve-O. Simply get to the kick, put it in the corner. Wakefield could take a lesson from that last set that Leeds completed.
Well, I'm sure that John Keir would have mentioned that. Remember, just a minute and a half before the first half finished. Remember, Sean Gleeson offloaded when he didn't have to. Safety first at times. You've got to do it.
St Helens 26-6 at the KC Stadium against Hull FC. They have something, of course, to repay Hull with after their opening day victory at Nosey Road, engineered by Sean Long. But Francis Melly, on his return to the team, has picked up 4 tries at the KC Stadium, we're told. There's a 40-20 opportunity here, but that's out in the far again from Sam Obst. That will be brought right the way back from where the kick was taken.
Well, it's what they needed, but I'm afraid he just skewed off the right-hand side, and he knows that it's going to be even more pressure.
No, every player and every team will make mistakes. It's your response on the back of it here now. How quickly can Wakefield recover mentally and physically? You know, this is the 3rd time they're having to start inside their own half of the field. Self-induced errors, but you have to be strong enough to ride through these tough periods.
First tackle was important by Morrison on Smith. Here is Sinfield. Second tackle on the run from Glenn Morrison.
That takes him up to 21 in this game, and he'll add at least another 10 more, I'm sure.
What a warrior Peacock is. Diskin, Maguire gives it to Eastwood.
And again, that inside pass is really confusing this Wakefield defence. And you can see that Kirk, they're looking for the offload yet again. It's been impressive, the offload from the Rhinos tonight.
Lovely little dab into the in-goal. And across they come again to the rescue, this time Aaron Murphy.
Eddie, what about the catch there from Danny Maguire? He just threw out the right hand and he almost stuck to it, didn't he? The ball was in front of him before we saw the quality of the kick. Look at that. In these conditions, there's super glue on his fingers.
Wonderful hands. Great dropout.
It's a good dropout. Here's Maguire, and he's given it to Peacock. He takes on Cook and Morrison.
Well, the way Maguire's playing, it was no surprise, was it, Eddie, that he was included in the England squad to take on France.
Yeah, a lot of young pretenders about, Tompkins, Eastman and company, but Maguire...
Oh, he's been sensational over the past 4 to 5 weeks.
No Myler, of course, because he's out injured, but Maguire has come back. But Ablett has lost possession.
It's field position that the Wildcats need at the moment. They found it very difficult because Leeds' defence was a bit shady in the opening 15-20 minutes. And they really have muscled up, they've got it all sorted out. And the continuation of Leeds, when they got ball in hand, to bring it back on the inside runner in and around the play the ball area is tiring the Wakefield side out.
Good run there from Kermon, though. Here's Dimitriou. And Dimitriou has got a penalty here for ball stealing. A born leader is Jason Dimitriou, according to his coach.
Oh, he's been wonderful, hasn't he, for the side? This is his 175th game in the Wakefield colours. I'm not so sure that was reefed out, but either way, they need it. Now they've got to look towards Obst.
Who would have thought when he came over to play for Lancashire Lynx that he'd go on to represent the Wildcats so strongly? Here they are now pressing to the line. This is the range from which they can score, Eddie.
It is, it's Henderson. Ablett having a devil's own job bringing him down. The mistake from Ablett up the other end. He's just conceded the penalty, and they have got over for the try with Aaron Murphy. Aaron Murphy silences Headingley again. There was the error underneath the Wakefield post, then there was the penalty. They've come forward, and they've got over with the try, Aaron Murphy. John Keir disappointed he isn't in the England squad for next week. Still time, though, for the Four Nations.
His time will come, and it was a reef out there by Eastwood, should I say. Got to give him a compass right, but that was a good finish. And again, worked on that short blind side by Obst. It was only a simple pass, but it was sufficient. Nothing that Sinfield could do about stopping this fella, Aaron Murphy. And I'm with you, Eddie. He's a great talent, and his time will come.
He's only 21. What about, we haven't heard from you, by the way. We discussed it on Boots and All because you weren't there, of course, on Wednesday. What about the Gareth Widdop selection from the Melbourne Storm for England? In favour of that?
Yes, I am. I think it's a fine selection. There was a lot of rumours around in regards to that within the next couple of weeks he was obtaining a dual passport, so therefore he could have been selected for Australia. I think it's wise of Steve McNamara. I know he hasn't played many games in the top grade, but the last 2 that he's played for Melbourne Storm have been outstanding, and the fact he's a brilliant goal kicker.
Should Mark Flanagan not be a bit peeved?
Cook adds.
I think everybody's
peeved.
peeved.
No, he doesn't.
And that's how it should be. Anyone that's left out of an international side, I don't want them to smile and say, oh, well, that's how it is. No, I want them to really dig deep and say, I'm going to fight my way back. And that's what we need. But I'm very pleased that Steve McNamara has gone for a strong side.
Paul Cook has just missed the first goal kick of the evening. So it's at level pegging at Headingley, 18 all. Deep kick-off. Jeffries is underneath it. Here's Korkidas. Gets as far as Kirk and Co. 26-12 now. St Helens against Hull. An hour gone there. Here, 18 all. And news from the Wakefield camp, Bill.
Yeah, Wakefield, one or two problems on the sidelines. Paul Johnson came off just towards the end of that first half. He's got a bang in the mouth. I think, in fact, he's lost a tooth. He's got a bang on the side of the head. He's got a stiff neck. And they're just keeping an eye on him, because that's, according to the Wakefield medical side, is just one bang too many for Paul Johnson. So he's still sitting the game out. They're possibly reluctant to put him back on. Michael Korkidas, I understand, has had 6 stitches in that cut in his eyebrow. Sam Obst is out there with that bandage on. He's going to need stitching after the game. And Sam Obst is an irrepressible figure at the moment. He really is organising things out there for Wakefield. Noticed him just a moment ago, just directing them straight up the middle of the field. That's where we're going, he said.
Yeah, they're brave, aren't they, the Super League stars? They really are. Johnson with a tooth out. And stitches wanted by Obst at the end, and stitches in for Korkidas. Interesting about Paul Johnson, by the way. He's one of the few players now to have played in every season of the Super League. Paul Johnson, Cunningham, Long, senior, out here tonight, and Terry Newton, who won't be playing in every season of the Super League. Here on in are the others.
A player very proud of his gnashers as well, Eddie. He'll be devastated if he's lost a tooth.
Well, that must be one of the, I mean, I know you talk about bones and all that. I would think having a tooth knocked out must be agonising.
Try a dozen.
More aesthetics, I think.
What an untidy play the ball that was, but the referee says play on. Oh, Korkidas is through! Webb cuts him down, though, with help from Delaney. Terrible play the ball, though. This is Obst down the short side. It's Henderson. Halted on the last tackle as he 20 metres away.
Oh, he's got a penalty.
For a high shot.
He picks out Webb here.
How is that high?
That didn't look anything wrong at all.
He got his neck at the end.
That's shocking. Now, that should have been a penalty anyway, so... What about the break by Michael Korkidas?
Which penalty at the play the ball, Steve-O? One way or the other, or what?
Toss a coin. You know the laws.
You've called for the penalty, not me. This is Jeffrey. Now Korkidas. What about his run, as you say? Underneath the post of Wakefield with Sam Obst, the organiser-in-chief, Jeffries. Back it comes to Morrison. Whoa, you don't want to be doing things like that. And John Keir knows it.
Why
Too
are we
fancy in this stuff?
Yeah. I mean, surely they learned their lesson in regards to what they did with only a minute and a half remaining in the first half. That led to a try by Leeds, and now in a great position, just up the jumper.
Bill's on the case again, Bill.
Yeah, Danny Kerman, the latest casualty for Wakefield, and just a result of a tackle he took a few moments ago. He really was hit hard and fell awkwardly, and it looks like a knee problem for Kerman. Immediately replaced. Richard Moore has gone back out there, so the Wildcats are dropping like flies at the moment.
They are, aren't they? Salford coming back against Warrington. It's tight all over the show at the moment. No tighter than here. 18 all, 55 minutes on the clock.
Well, we're approaching the final quarter, and you'd have to say that Leeds must be wondering, will they run out of steam? It was a very, very tough game last weekend.
He just looked like he's running out of steam. Luluwai. Here's a 40-20 effort from Danny Maguire. Out on the full.
Option was good. He's furious with himself. He knows that under the course, he raises the arm. Just got too much behind it. No doubt about it. It always surprises me here at Headingley, the width of the whitewash.
So as you can see it, Stephen.
So that he can hit the ball. More chance.
Heads in, Brent!
Must be, what, about 6-inch width, the lines here? Oh, Blaymire was nearly through. Good tackle needed by Jay Pitts. Cook, Moore. He goes one way, doesn't he? Richard Moore.
He's worked hard. Remember, early in the game, he was given the job of putting the pressure on the kickers. Sinfield and Maguire did a good job as well.
Oh, Dimitri nearly lost that. He held on as Obst plays the ball. Now it's with Henderson.
Just sheer determination now. We saw that little move on the blind side from Obst that brought the try for Murphy. That's all they need to do again.
Great kick into the in-goal area by Jeffries. It's just too long, though.
Now then, can they muscle up? Far too.
Well, they've got away with that, have they? Yes, they have. They've lost ground.
It's an interesting tap on the 20. You end up back on the 19-metre line, isn't it?
Come on, move, go.
That's one of the most experienced players on the pitch. Sometimes you just can't legislate for things.
Is it I mean, do they ignore what's happening from
No.
up above? Is it just natural instinct we're seeing
Well, I
here?
think a bit of natural instinct. I think he wanted to just move them around a little bit off the tap and vary it up. And look, it'll come off for somebody like Kevin Sinfield. 9 times out of 10, he's a fabulous player. Just short of the poor pass that time.
This is Eastwood in possession. Only a couple of starts for him this year. It's his 11th appearance in all. Last tackle. Sinfield hoists it high. It's a bit long, though.
Not too sure.
Well claimed, Aaron Murphy. It's Matt Blaymire.
Back it up. Go.
Blanche.
It was a great take by Blaymire because the height that Sinfield got on this, eyes on the ball at all time. Great example for any youngsters watching.
Nothing to choose between these two sides here at Headingley as Gleeson drives it forward for Wakefield once again. They're in the contest, the Wildcats, with Jeffries now. Scampering run down the line. Oh,
Big hit.
Lee Smith.
Fantastic.
What a hit on Jeffries first of all, and then he did enough to force the ball over the whitewash.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. Bang. Slippy conditions. Just squeezed away off the chest.
What was the thinking there, though? At very best, he was going to get caught on the sideline on the last tackle, the worst place to kick from. Sam Hobbs is standing outside. They've already taken 4 drives up that short side. Get it back into the middle and you get a better kicking chance from there.
It has surprised me somewhat that John Keir has got the message out to give Ben Jeffries the kicking game option. We've seen it come very, very good from Paul Cook and Sam Obst.
Leeds get possession from the scrum. It could have gone against Lee Smith. It looked as though he pushed the ball over the line. 18-26 at Hull Kingston, at Hull rather, beg pardon black and white fans, at Hull. 26-18. Peacock. Now, Diskin waits dummy half for Leeds.
Good run.
That's a great run. That's a great offload to Peacock as well. Look at Peacock, he just keeps the legs going, doesn't he? March, march, stamp, stamp, keep going. Maguire, Obst has flown out to the line, he gets the ball away though, and here is Ryan Hall. That's good scrambling defence from the Wildcats. Webb.
Going to be a kick into the corner, surely. They've applied the pressure.
Crossfield kick from Maguire. That ball has been lost.
No advantage, it looked to me.
On the 10.
Yeah, I think Eastwood
To hand over. 10 meters.
Eastwood definitely got a fingertip to this, but what about the cover defence? He knew there was nowhere on the outside. Blanche has had a fine game. He really has worked hard.
Now it's Leeds' turn to hunt the mistake. On the hour mark, 18 all at Headingley. In 3 really good contests this year between these two. And remember the one at Wakefield last year when Leeds pinched it in the last minute again. Demetriou will get to his feet. Here's Korkidas. Diskin on him in a flash.
Great work. You just get the feeling that Wakefield will not make a break deep down from their own half. They've got to get into a good position. They're very dangerous, but that's not a very good kick.
No, he went for the 40-20. Webb will run it back. There's the kicker. Now, Donald taking on Morrison and Korkidas.
I think the side that's got the most patience will come up with a victory tonight. It's not now a time to start for heroics, keep the ball alive or anything fancy. He knows it. Oh, it's offloaded though. It's a good one as well.
To Badiris, who's just on, as you see, for Greg Eastwood. Maguire on the inside. Oh, clobbered was Kylie Luluwai by Morrison as he received that. Stab over the top for the corner. Good kick again. Leeds will once more hunt the mistake from Wakefield from this scrum.
Well, if Wakefield go on and win this game, Eddie, they're a real chance of getting to the grand final, because every odds would tell you here now that Leeds are going to be the stronger side at home in the final quarter. And if Wakefield can do this, they really have moved on to another level. Last year they did remarkably well. They finished 5th in the competition, faded out in the playoffs, but they're showing here now a mental toughness and a resilience that you'll need in pressure football at the end of the season. Can they match it here now in the remaining 18 minutes of this match?
Well, let's hope next week we see a contest like this between England and France. It would do England no harm at all with the Four Nations coming up the end of the year. England-France at Lee next Saturday, and they were the numbers and the website that you need for the information about that match. It's next Friday, it's live with us. That's the information you really need. It's on Sky Sports HD1.
I can't wait as well. Steve McNamara has selected a very strong, well-balanced side.
The new breed.
And experience there as well, where it matters.
We're 17 and a half minutes away from the end of this game. We've got Kevin Sinfield on the field. We've got Paul Cook on the field, who can pop over at one point or two in their time, and so can Obst, I think. I think he's done it in the past. When will you start the call? When will the
keep it on ice?
When will the
keep it on
box come
ice,
out?
please.
Well, look, Warrington have just got one. They're 17-10 up.
70 minutes, absolutely spot on. One side will elect to go for it.
So the soapbox is away at the moment.
It is. You pinched it. Oh, that's good work. But again, it surprised me. They looked very, very tired when they trudged off, the Wakefield players. I thought perhaps they wouldn't have much left in the tank, but let's give them great credit for that. And look at that wonderful defence, staying in one line, not being sucked out. Okay, Leeds are offloading, but they're getting there in numbers of the Wildcats. It's a great effort.
Harlequins Crusaders on Sunday, 5:30 HD2. Here's Peacock. Still going, Peacock. Badiris. Sinfield. Dab over the top. No, taking them on with Delaney. There's Badiris. Here's Sinfield. There's the crossfield kick for Maguire to chase. Oh, it bounces horribly, but Hobbs to the rescue. Came off the base of the post.
Wonderful kick by Sinfield.
Intelligence.
Yeah, look, this guy reads the game ever so well. He came off the post, and Danny Maguire cannot believe it. You think he's going to just pop up for me? No, it isn't.
That's combination, Steve-O. That's people knowing what their teammate's going to do.
As we mentioned earlier, Brian, the combination that, OK, Leeds without Rob Burrow, a lot of people perhaps thought it might be a big blow to them, but the way that Sinfield Maguire have operated since he picked up that injury, they have been outstanding.
They've known each other all their careers. That's going to be a big help.
Here's Senior taking on Morrison, nearly through, but Morrison just hung on to his bootlaces. Badiris with a scampering run, down he goes. Morrison involved in the tackle again with Cook. He's got to do a ton of work. Sinfield, Webb.
Oh, it's going to be a penalty.
He doesn't like it.
Take him another 10 metres.
Yes.
Well, at a time like this, when you're level pegging, you've got to use your brains a little bit. And it was obvious that Diskin had gone a few, but Webb does this, bounces the ball on the floor, and look where Wakefield are now.
And it's with Tavita Leolatu, who ran them ragged at Murrayfield. With a little press of a key on the McLennan laptop as Henderson drives it forward again. Blaymire waits for Wakefield. Boy, it would be a famous win if the Wildcats came up with this. This is Cook. They haven't won home and away league games against Leeds for almost 20 years. They've got the sniff of it here with Leolatu. That's good work from Badiris.
This is where Obst and Cook have to work their magic. Got to have the dummy runners, got to make sure that they're all working for each other.
Obst, it's a great kick. Just too long.
Oh, Blanche, straight into the hoarding. And two players down, and the officials just seen it now. But no.
Sinfield has gone for a long kick.
And he's got it.
look.
I can't believe that Ops just... He's the engineer, but what about the restart from Kevin Sinfield? I remember him doing it 2 years back when they brought into the new rule. Might have been 3 years, I'm not so sure, but down at Harlequins in London. And that turned the game around. And they turned a victory when it looked like the Quins were going to come up with a win.
It's the optional kick, the optional restart. They can either tap it or do what Sinfield did then and hoof it long and go for the head and feet at the scrum. And now they've got more territory coming because there's a high shot just gone in on Brett Delaney.
Yeah, his head went back, no doubt about it. Paul King did not miss. This is the restart. Superb.
He reads the game so well.
Yeah, he's a very talented player.
Here's Kevin Sinfield, the Leeds skipper. 350th appearance tonight for Kevin Sinfield. What a servant. Topped the kicking charts last year for the 3rd year in a row after the weekly rounds. Ball's come free. Play on, says the referee.
Well, that's going to be a penalty now. And, well, he's given a knock on both ways. They'll take the first one.
Wakefield's head and feet.
Yeah, Sinfield's furious. Not so sure that Ian Smith will enjoy what has been said to him. He seemed to lose it. Maybe we'll see it better from this angle. It looks like King certainly just had a little bit of a leverage there. Well, it's getting very close to that 7-0. And the 1 point will be going through the mines.
Someone's varnishing the soapbox as we speak. It's got to come, though. It's so tight, this. It's got to come.
Surrender!
The one of the soapbox.
Both. Leo Latu down the short side.
Can they get into it? Can
Remember
they get
the game he had, this fellow, at Murray?
Yeah, and then amazingly, when John Keir threw him back on late on, he went from goal to lead.
This is Korkidas. That's the last tackle, not within range here, and only on the 68th minute, so it's with Obst. He just hoists it high. It's a good kick.
Boy, that is a good kick.
Brent Webb just managed to take it with Blaymire all over him.
That was good play as well by Blaymire, because he made sure that Webb took that ball before making contact. And he certainly had a second go at him.
From the very first minute tonight, Wakefield have been up for this challenge, you know. When they led 12-0, it was going perfectly, and then they fought their way back into the match in the second half. Just the one try from Aaron Murphy we've had. It's 18-all.
They've got enough energy to win the game. You can see that by how quickly they're getting back into defensive positions. Do they have the intelligence to win it? An error here by Leeds inside their own half gives Wakefield what they've been searching for in the final 12 minutes. Possession close to Leeds' try line.
I don't know where he's seen the knock on there.
Well, it was a little fumble, I feel, from Danny Badera. Oh, no,
it's that one.
Yeah, it's that one there. I thought Badera's...
I thought Luluai had been pinged, but it's not.
Yeah, he's lost it. And a vital moment as well.
Spot on, Ian Smith. He got a great view of it too.
He's refereed well, to be fair. And he's understood the fact that there's been bad conditions. Very slippery, and it's hard to get away quickly from the man that's been tackled.
This is King for Wakefield.
Another 2 drives. We'll go for it. Obst or Cook.
A bit early. Latu going wide with Henderson. He's lost it. The Peacock has it back for the Rhinos. I thought, by the way, that Jamie Peacock was out for 2 months with that injury. But
you're talking about Jamie Peacock here?
Yeah, Jamie,
Yeah. That was good work from Delaney. Swinging arm and the ball carrying arm, and that was sufficient. Badieris, that looked high. Certainly looked high for me from Jason Dimitru. Got away with it.
Ablett. Look at him barking the instructions. Jamie Peacock, as he will be next week for England. Webb goes wide to Delaney. Might have drifted a little forward. Donald is waiting at dummy half. They're on halfway. Sinfield, Luluai.
I think it's a little bit too far out to go for the drop goal. I think they'll put plenty of height on this one. Sinfield's there on the blind side. Here it comes.
Up it goes, and Maguire's chasing it. Right underneath the crossbar, but too long. Here's Dimitri, who's just been told by the referee just to have a word with the team about their discipline. Oh, he's lost it! And play on, he says. Smith over the top, he's backed himself. Taken out there, Lee Smith. Penalty here.
Sin bin. There you go,
Morrison's
sir.
in the bin.
Yeah. I was just about to say, why on earth did Lee Smith go for broke? But they just got possession of the football. See Dimitri loses possession here. Why on earth he opted for that one? But quite obvious. Glenn
A good
Morrison
job that
got it.
Glenn Morrison got to him, actually, because that was going dead.
Absolutely, he's blessed Glenn Morrison pulled him back. Otherwise, he'd had some explaining to do.
But they are a team of risk takers. If you look at them for the last few years, Sinfield will try a short dropout one when they're down in the last few minutes. The risk taking has paid off for them. Jay Pitt's offloaded in his own 20-metre zone just 2 minutes ago.
Have a look how far dead this goes.
I know, but they take risks, and eventually they'll back themselves. Eventually they pay off for them, and history shows it has.
Yeah, I dare say, first tackle, I'm not sure that was the best play, but...
Well, they've got the penalty as a result, which could mean that Sinfield edges them ahead here. Remember, heading to the scene of the only other Super League draw this year so far, 20-all against Bradford. We were here for that. We've got 2018 now in the Leeds Rhinos' favour. And no hint of Leeds going for broke there and having a go for the 6 points. Kevin Sinfield said, let's just nudge ourselves ahead on the scoreboard and see where this takes us.
Well, when Lee Smith got the ball and kicked over the top, Brian McLennan, the Leeds coach, would have been having kittens. So what on earth would he have done that for? Set up for the 1 point. It came their way. As I say, the kick was far too strong.
26 apiece at the KC Stadium. What a fight back from Hull FC. Talking about only the second draw maybe we're watching in Super League here. Well, maybe we will see a draw at the KC Stadium tonight.
Now this is where Kevin Sinfield comes into his own. This is where he controls it. That's a good kick. Okay, it's too long, but he knows that they can all square up on that 30-metre line. He's had a fine game. He's marshalled his troops exceptionally well. Difficult conditions, but I must say it's been so entertaining. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
The 12 men of Wakefield against the 13 of the Leeds Rhinos. And 10 minutes ago, it's still 17-10 Warrington at Salford. Good effort from Salford, going for 3 in a row tonight. This is Dimitriou.
Discipline has got to be the key now for the Rhinos. They realise they can't afford to give away a penalty. Not with the ability of the goal kicking of Paul Cook.
There is Cook at dummy half. Gets it from Henderson's heel back. It's King. This is Leo Latu. Senior over the top. Flicked forward off Gleeson's fingertips. 10,000 in the South Stand left referee Ian Smith in no doubt about the decision he had to give then.
He had to take a chance, didn't he? Good effort on there, and he just could not get it going backwards. Golden opportunity now, and as I say, you'd like to think that Leeds will close things down, but they're not that type of team, are they? Always adventurous. I must say, late in that first half, Eddie, I thought the Rhinos, the way that they supported each other and they offloaded, was quite tremendous. It would have pleased their coach, Brian McLennan. Still plenty to go, though. Wakefield are not done.
5 minutes and the rain has ceased, but it's still greasy out there. Here's Medeiros. Peacock. Up he goes again. Up he goes again. Medeiros once more. Sinfield attacking the line. Sinfield to Medeiros. Brilliant pass. Brilliant pass from Kevin Sinfield to Medeiros. Medeiros, who scored the match winner at Murrayfield just a few short weeks ago, might well have won the match for the Rhinos here again. But But the pass from Kevin Sinfield was just instinctive and brilliant. Badiris was on the end of it, and looks like Leeds, well, they'll have an eye on what's going on at the KC Stadium. They could be fourth after all this.
Great sides, great players, know exactly what to do and to put themselves in a position. The final pass was outstanding, but the build-up to it, look, he goes one way, then steps, he commits them, he commits the full-back. Badiris has done it again. He did it up in Edinburgh with just 2 minutes to go, a little bit earlier on this occasion. But that really was out of the top drawer. Can he add the icing to the cake?
It's academic from that range in front of the sticks. 26-18, Leeds look like they're going to break Wakefield's hearts again.
Well, I'm possibly biased towards him, but I thought he had the biggest influence in the last few minutes last week, and Jamie Peacock's had a similar one again today. We didn't mention his name in that try, but his charge and quick play of the ball was what set the platform for Sinfield and Badiris to show off their skills. About the speed of the play back into it, and again it was Peacock charging it forward and too strong to handle.
Short kick-off from Wakefield. They've not given up the ghost yet. Here is a penalty for Wakefield now. Not standing square at the play of the ball. Play on, says the referee. Henderson thought he'd maybe tapped it a bit early, but the whistle had gone. 3 to go, 26-18. Here is Obst. Obst gives it then to Paul Cook. He finds Gleeson, who nearly lost it again. Gleeson, though, doing well. Looks like Warrington might have beaten Salford now. Leo Latu going for the line himself. And losing the ball. But it comes back to Demetriou. Now what's happened here?
Has the ball gone backwards? They were fingertipped from both sides. But Demetriou has picked it up on the half volley. He's gone over. There's nothing wrong with the touchdown. Latu gets the ball away, it's going backwards. That's okay. That was kicked before a Wakefield player gets it, and this should be a TRY. I think that was a steal, and then the kick.
There's a fingertip there.
Knock on by Paul Cook.
Paul Cook, fingertip, knock on. Look.
Let's see. Frame by frame. Does he? I'm not so sure.
Speed it up a little, I think.
I'm not so sure. Now look at the leg. It's going round the ball, so that means that the ball is pulling away from it. Oh, this is a big decision for James Child. Nothing wrong with the grounding. You can see how Lee Smith has got the right boot going in a circle.
There's no clear evidence that he knocks on, Brian.
No.
You have to give him the benefit of the doubt to the attacking side.
Well, you think so, Phil?
Well, there's no evidence that he knocks on, so you have to form a judgment from that.
Has Paul Cook got a fingertip to it? He's looking to see for the grounding. Do we have some vital seconds? Nervous times for the Rhinos.
Hey, get out there, quick.
What say James Child?
Try is given.
Wait.
Try is given. It didn't come up as benefit of the doubt, but it must have been benefit of the doubt. Paul Cook, adjudged not to have got a fingertip to it. And Paul Cook has missed. 26-22. Another close-run thing between these two sides.
Certainly was. They tested it, and good play by Leo Latu. How he got this ball away, or was it stolen perhaps from Peacock? Maybe it was. Either way, it didn't matter. The skipper, Jason Demetriou, has plucked a try, and Kevin Sinfield, who's had a tremendous match, this will be deep, but make sure it doesn't go too deep. And he's done the right thing, kept it on the floor.
I wonder what Amos Roberts is thinking about that decision, because he came up with a very delicate knock-on that cost Wigan their Challenge Cup quarter-final last week. Warrington have beaten Salford. Wakefield. Well, it's time now to throw caution to the wind, if they can. 1.5 minutes to go. Kermond is buried under the Leeds tacklers. To Leolatu again. Back it comes to Obst. Obst then pops it up to Demetriou. He's seen a gap and he's lost the ball. Thumps the pitch with disgust and probably not only loses the ball, loses any chance of claiming a draw at least.
Well, look at the man who's round his ankles.
Yes.
He's got both of them strapped together. Jamie Peacock, I do say he has to be the best signing this club have made in the last 30 years. That's my opinion. I'd like to debate it with anybody who can put forward another candidate. But the impact he's had and the success that he's led the side to and the influence he's had over the younger players just appears to me to have been the significant step up to success.
Lee Smith just content to take the tackle there. Lee Smith. There's a penalty, and Sinfield just might chip the ball over the top here. Point victory. Yes, he'll go for 2. Leeds have won the match. It just now is a question of by how many, and there's the reason the penalty's given.
Well, Henderson put his hand in here around the neck, throat, jaw region for Lee Smith, and I think it'll end a very happy night for Leeds. They knew that the Wildcats were going to come here very determined, having had a week's rest to prepare for this game. The disappointment of what happened in Murrayfield. And the Leeds momentum continues.
There we go, the full-time siren has gone in the background, just as it went in the background of the first half when Sinfield lined up the conversion. This is a penalty, and that is a successful kick from Kevin Sinfield. 28-22 the final score, a valiant effort again from Wakefield to no avail. And Sinfield, well, he has converted everything that was asked of him. He's kicked precisely all night. He's come up with a couple of penalties as well. And as you say, Phil, the Rhinos' momentum keeps on going.
Well, yeah, I think you can see the confidence back in there. They were pushed very far tonight. Wakefield know that what happens between now and round 20 is highly significant. Really does the side mount a charge after round 20 in this competition. You tend to find that the teams end up in the top 8, stay there from that point on, and they know that they need to pick up some points, but they gave a great effort here tonight.
Wakefield did, but to Leeds the spoils, and to Leeds captain Kevin Sinfield, the man of the match award. He's with Bill.
Kevin, it's a choice of chocolate milk or some champagne. What will it be?
This, thanks.
Now then, you'll be glad to see the back of this Wakefield side, won't you?
Yeah, they've caused us some problems this year, and I think typical of John Keir, really. I think gets his team's fired up, and every time we play them, we've done it really tough. And tonight, again, going 12-0 down, you know, things looked a bit scratchy at the start for us.
The rain really did influence the way the game shaped up, because until the heavens opened, you were throwing the ball around, and it was really pleasing on the eye. But once the conditions changed, you really had to change the approach, didn't you?
Yeah, it's happened the last 2 weeks now. I just decided to throw it down on game day. I mean, today has been beautiful, hasn't it? So we had to change the tactics, and Wakefield did as well. But thankfully, our forwards were great again, and Danny Maguire were great bosses around the field, and we got the win in the end.
But it wasn't until you put Danny Badiris in for that try at the end that you could breathe easy.
Oh, we'd bombed a few and all, haven't we, Bill? We put a lot of ball down. I think both sides did, and thankfully we got there in the end.
Well done tonight, and it's a continuation. I mean, it's amazing how your season has turned around, isn't it? And you could be 4th by the end of tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we had a really scratchy start, and to be able to pick up, and we always knew we had a very good squad, but until you start playing, until you start turning up game day, it don't matter who you got on paper, and thankfully we started to do that. We need to improve some more, but happy with the 2 points tonight.
Champagne, there you go, £100 for charity as well. Where would you like that to go?
Yorkshire Kidney Research Fund, please.
Thanks, Kevin, well done tonight. And commiserations to Jason Demetriou, who, I mean, not the prettiest try you'll ever score, Jason, but it was indicative of how you stuck in there tonight.
Yeah, it was a tough game. Credit to Leeds, they came back from 12-0 and the heavens opened and we dropped a lot of ball, but we kept fighting, and if we keep playing like that, and we'll make the 8 for sure.
I mean, OK, you got back on the horse last week against the last game against Harlequins. so close tonight, but it's a different side. It's a different looking side, isn't it?
It is, you know, over the last month we've lost a lot of games, but we've lost most of them by 4 to 6 points, you know, so we are getting there, and we've got new halfback combinations, and, you know, Cookie's starting to settle in a bit more now, and we've got bodies back on the floor now, so, you know, there's competition for places, which helps.
And there's no, on the evidence of that, there's no shortage of spirit.
Oh, no way. That's what Wakefield's all about, you know, we're full of team spirit, and, you know, we'll keep fighting. Can just say commiserations too to the Purdon family for going through the tragedy that they are, and the whole rugby league team is behind them, and also to Dave Solomona's wife, who lost a sister early in the week, so commiserations to her family as well.
We're with you on that, Jason. Thanks.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, even in defeat and at the end of a fierce battle, rugby league heart beats strongly, doesn't it? Well, Leeds have won by 28 points to 22, and if results work out elsewhere, they just could be fourth in the table tonight. There's an almighty battle going on at the KC Stadium as we speak. We'll bring you the final score from Hull and Saints in a moment. Steve-O, lots to savour from this game.
Certainly was, and it looked as though they were going to run away with it, Leeds, and then, just after the restart, beautiful blindside move by Ops, Murphy scores a try, that tied it up at 18 all, and then you'd think, who's going to tie him most? And the mistake there, the ball was lost by Dimitri, and then why on earth did he kick through? And he was interfered with by Morrison. He went to the sin bin. They were down to 12. And then this piece of magic from Kevin Sinfield. Badira's good support play. 26-18. We thought they were done. No, they weren't. Leo Latu, how did he get this ball away? Lee Smith kicks the ball away from Cook, and Dimitri gave them an opportunity. Great match.
Yes, tremendous match. And here are the other results. Hull have beaten St Helens 27-26. That must have been an absolute corker of a game, which means that Leeds are fourth, and Warrington have closed the gap again on Wigan at the top of the table as a result of their tussle with the Salford City Reds. Wigan, of course, they are there. They are top of the table. Leeds, well, I think that's wrong. I think Leeds do go fourth in the table. We'll check that. It's all happened in the last couple of minutes. No, it hasn't, of course. Didn't St Helens have to beat Hull for Leeds to be in the top four? I think they did. I think they did have to beat... I think Saints did have to beat Hull FC for Leeds to be in the top four. So, actually, got ahead of myself there. Leeds are fifth. Nothing wrong with that. Wakefield hanging on to the top 8 despite the victory, but Hull KR and Castleford and the Crusaders, well, they will come again, of course, over the weekend, as will Harlequins. It's so confusing, isn't it, the top 8? I mean, it's points difference that will count. It's drop goals that will count. Point here, point there, but Leeds are coming.
Yeah, absolutely. We spoke about it before the game. I think people are looking around and seeing continuous improvements in what's already a champion side, 3 times champions. So it's a little ominous. They were a bit patchy at times tonight, as were Wakefield, but I think the better team in the end took out the 2 points. Be very interested to see what the coaches have to say after this game. I think John Keir, I think he looked at that second half performance, and I think he could have asked for a lot more ball control, which would have given them a chance to get into that game.
Yeah, and well, they came up with a try late on that gave them hope. They had to score, obviously, then, but Kevin Sinfield, he just calmed it down. Like, penalty, 30 metres out, I'll take the 2.
Yeah, he's got a wonderful temperament in a game, and what I like about his game is that he's got this really sort of sensible and reliable persona about him, but he takes risks on the field, and we saw him try a restart. Didn't quite work out for him. The very next time he's kicked it out and got the ball back.
Steve, I'm sorry, we have got no time to hear you in this bit, but we will hear from you ad nauseam on the red button. Okay? Poor lad looks disappointed, doesn't he? There's a choice of live action right now. No one else is disappointed, Steve, by the way. The UK Open Darts is continuing on Sky Sports HD1. There's boxing, Ian Napper against Stuart Hall next on Sky Sports HD2, and more from the PGA Tour. The Memorial Tournament is on Sky Sports HD3 right now. Sunday, it's Harlequins against the Crusaders, and that is live with us to round off this round of Super League 15, 5:30 on HD2 again. And Super League Extra Time follows. Steve-O is all pumped up and ready to go. We'll have match analysis, coaches' interviews, match reports, Last words from Steve-O. I think the last word from Steve-O should be goodbye for now. We'll see you the other side of this break. Put your hand up his back and work him like a ventriloquist, Brian, will you? Whatever you do. You'll hear from him, shh, after the break on the Red Button Show. Bye-bye.
All right. There's something wrong with this plot. The actor's ear.
Oh, but Glenn Morrison!